Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds.
Oh my god, I'm so excited, Kristen.
Oh my god. Great, another song I have to add to my playlist.
I got so many goosebumps.
Okay, then. So was she with another guy the whole time anyway? Let it go, Jack. I heard his dad speaking in there.
I know you're hungry.
I swear to God, I will kill her.
Okay. Oh, he's just unfazed.
The door and she dies anyway.
Thank you, Ben.
Finally, we don't have to say Henry. Oh my god.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Michael, Kristen, and I are back for more Lost. We're on season 3, so this is going to be exciting. We're on episode 1 of season 3, A Tale of Two Cities, and it's an episode centered around Jack, but also a big reveal about the others. I guess they have their own civilization.
I've been waiting. I love season 3 so much, so I've been waiting for this. Like, the anticipation and excitement, like, really caught. I think Michael felt the same way. We're like, oh my gosh, we're finally getting, like, all the things that we can talk about now. So it's, like, been great.
And after so many weeks, we can finally call him Ben. We don't have to keep calling him Henry Gale. It's such a relief. We still can't say his surname, but at least we have Ben. We got something.
We got something, just a little bit. But I mean,
before we get into it, I was saying to Jake before we started, like, I think season 1 and 2 of Lost are like amazing. And when I was watching this episode, I got so many goosebumps of like, oh my god, I think we're getting into like my favorite era of the show. Like, this next run of seasons is so much fun, and I'm so excited to finally be here. Yeah. It's like seasons 1 and 2 is just long foreplay to get us to where we are now.
Yeah, I agree as well. Like, 1 and 2 is awesome and like amazing as art because they are like dynamite TV. Like, they're so good. When you get into these like coming up seasons, you're like, oh, they really were just like setting this up, and like that was an amazing setup. So yeah, it's really good. Also, I would like to point out that the reveal of Ben is not so shocking to poor Jake here because a couple of us along the way have accidentally spilled Ben. However, I felt that I was very much not like the Coldplay couple, and I played it off really well, unlike fumbling like they did. So I thought I had it saved there, but I did not. Because Jake's
you don't have to lose your job because of it. It's all good.
God, thank you guys for firing me for that. But yeah.
So wild, the Coldplay reference.
So,
I appreciate it. Very topical.
I was very stealthy about that. I just kept going, didn't make a fuss about it. I didn't like go like, let me turn my camera off. Yeah.
You didn't duck below the camera.
Not that would have been like a moment of me going. Anyway. So yeah, sadly we did. Well, I did, and I think Brandon, when he came on, said it at one time. But we tried really hard. It was very hard. And Jake, I'm so glad that we don't have to keep saying Henry.
Not to brag, but I think it was everyone except me.
Okay, whatever.
I'm a good boy.
I'm going back and watching. I'm going to find a moment where you accidentally call him Ben.
Yeah. So,
Oh
but
my God.
I'm excited to get into this. Do we have any fun facts?
I have a lot of fun facts. I'm going to start with the numbers because they're there, but they're kind of boring. They're not the fun stuff this time. But the numbers that we see, Kate's locker has 841 on it. We have the first flashback with Jack and his pager. It says 7:15:23 a.m. So 15 is the minutes, 23 is the seconds. So those were the fun little numbers that we saw. And of course, the crossword showed some of those numbers too, but that's a crossword. I don't really give them credit for that one because every crossword is going to have that. Also have to point out, this was the #1 ranked episode of season 3 with 18.82 million people coming in to watch this. With how season 2 ended, I would anticipate this being a really big number because they're all captured. So I would anticipate that.
I thought you meant rated as in the episode rated. I was like, really? There's so many great episodes in this season. But I get what you mean now.
But just of how many people tuned in to watch. But yeah. This is also the only episode since the pilot part 2 that J.J. Abrams comes back and helps in.
Oh.
Huh. I don't think I knew that.
Fun fact. I'm going to get to the big one that I did not know, and I'm excited to see if Michael knew this one. But before I do that one, the nurse that's with Jack in that moment of you sure he can administer his own meds and all that when he's completely distracted is the nurse that checked in on Locke when he had his moment with his dad of stealing the kidney. Same nurse. Oh. Little character connection somehow there.
There's lots of them in Lost. Yeah,
I was going to say it happens every episode.
It sure does. Also, the fun blooper of this episode, and Jake, I don't know if you knew this, but when they look up at the plane and it's about to split, there's a very clear line of where this plane is going to split before it actually splits. It's the biggest black circle of that's where it's going to break off. I don't know what happened there in production, but it was a very clear of this is not a whole plane. This is it broke. They already broke it together, kind of tried to glue it back together for the episode. But yeah, bad job.
I didn't even notice.
I'm glad you did. Instantly, I noticed right away. But here's the fun one. Here is the really fun one. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a deleted scene. Okay. I'm very, very mad that this is not in the episode because I think it's really, really good. So apparently this deleted scene is with Jack and he's spying on Sarah right outside the school. And she's laughing with the guy, blah, 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 blah. Right there on the playground with kids outside, recess, whatever. Apparently one of the kids, a little girl, starts choking on the playground and Jack has to go and save her. So he blows his spot of spying, goes and saves this little girl from choking. And as she wakes up from choking, she says, "Do not trust her." Right? So then you could have played it off with Sarah, but you could have also played it off because later on Juliet says, "Just trust me." So,
oh my God.
That would have been a very solid deleted scene to keep in. So come on, guys. Let's leave those things in because that's good.
Maybe they thought we've had too much of Jack just saving people all the time. But yeah, that would have been fun.
Right? That's a good one.
We've had those types of scenes many times before. Charlie had them. A couple other characters have had them. So
yeah.
I will say this is a jam-packed episode, so I'm not surprised they struggled to get it down to 43 minutes or whatever.
I do agree with that. I'm just that's a good part to keep in because that's that starts leaving of because later on Juliet says it, so you would be led to believe it's there. Yeah, lots of craziness there. Should we get into this?
Let's do it.
Well, of course we start the episode with an eyeball because why not? This seems to be the theme, but. I was waiting for the song. I love this song. We get a new character. She's playing a great, catchy tune. She's getting things ready. She's burning her hand. Doorbell rings. And she's burn my hand, burn my muffins. They're obviously doing this book club, which is where you start to see them. They're talking about it. We see a little tension between some group members here. He's now I know why Ben's not here, which we didn't know Ben was Ben at this point in time. But we are led to believe that Ben, was whoever, whether he's the leader or not, whoever this Ben character is, really sets Juliet off, which we find out her name later, but her name is Juliet. And she's yep, well, I don't care. I picked the books to my house. I don't care. Go screw yourself. And rumbling starts to happen. Everything starts shaking. I'm assuming they think this is an earthquake because they all get into the doorway and they're it's okay. but it promptly stops, to which they all go outside, and now everybody's kind of gathering into this courtyard, if you will. And that's when they look up and they see our plane of our people that we've known for 2 seasons split apart midair. And this is where we see that this person obviously is Ben, but we are still led to believe that's Henry. He's coming out. And we've now known from our last episode that he's kind of the guy in charge here. And so we see him say, Goodwin, see where the tail landed? He said, yep, in the water. He's like, go do it. Ethan, go take it. This is where we see this whole scene of where we've had the last 2 seasons play out. And Juliet just is standing there with her book, and he's like, guess this means I'm out of the book club. He's such an ass, but I love it. Like true Henry / Ben, and I'm going to call him Ben from now on moving forward, but true Ben fashion, because as we see many times this episode, and like Michael's little hashtag over there, he gives 0 fucks, does not care. But this leads us to our first flashback of Jack in the car, where we would have had this deleted scene, and we see him spying on Sarah. We know that we've seen in a previous flashback that this is where, they're starting to split up. She said, I slept with somebody. We're on our own. See you later. Goodbye. This is obviously after that. He sees her with this guy, flirting, all these things. And then it leads us into Jack waking up in a room. And I kind of want to stop here just because of the opening. We get a lot of teasers of what we're about to see here. So I don't want to go further because that would get us way too far in. And I want Jake to kind of give us and everybody listening, what were your first thoughts of did you think this maybe was a Ethan before we knew Ethan was bad, like somebody that we didn't know's new flashback? Did you think that this would be another, walk us through your thoughts when you're seeing this opening scene?
Yeah, I thought it was some sort of flashback and we were going to tie it in. I was thinking maybe this was something to do with Henry, to be honest. I was kind of thinking maybe that's what it has to do, but I wasn't. I was thinking okay, this is the real life of how he got to the island, but no, it is, they're on the island and it's a civilization. It's a little town, or, I did not expect that. And to see that this island is not exactly abandoned, is pretty crazy. But it makes a whole lot more sense, that it wasn't abandoned. And then we see Ben is going to give Ethan and Goodwin the orders to go, Goodwin to the tail, Ethan to the front of the plane, and, get some intel and let us know what's going on. Clearly, I guess it took Ethan, a week or something to get over there? Because he didn't come into episode 10 or something, and I don't know how long they were on the island when he showed up, but
I'm sure he got
what Ben
there.
says. He says you can get that if you run to the beach, you can make that show.
That's the good one.
An hour. That's the good one.
That's the good one. Yeah. Which we did know, because it seemed like Goodwin had left a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
About that was closer. I don't think it necessarily took Ethan a week or whatever to get there. I think he was there and they just decided to randomly start showing him. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was probably there that night where he was, playing off as a character. It probably took him longer than an hour, though, I would assume.
And right. Can I just say as well, Jay, we were talking about it when we were talking about the tailies. He said, if you run, you can make that show in an hour to good. When we talked about how the tailies have had this horrible experience with the others, and maybe it's a proximity thing, this kind of clarifies that, yeah, it's a proximity thing. The tailies were very close to the others. They were an hour away, whereas Ethan's journey was obviously a lot longer. So, yeah, that kind of explains the hell that the tailies are going to go through for the next 48 days.
Well, and I love, too, that, again, we talk about the cinematography of Lost, right, where they, zoom out and you see both trails of where the plane has landed, and you definitely can tell that our people, not the tailies, our first original people, they're way deep into that they're way over on the other side of the island, whereas we had talked about. So it does make sense that they started with that. I'm sure the plan originally was for Goodwin and Ethan not to get their spots blown up, but to eventually take care of the tailie side and then start working their way over onto the other side. But yeah, it seemed also for us, and Jake, I don't know if you ever felt this way when you were watching, when we're starting to get the stories of the OGs, and especially now that they have Jack in them versus the tailies, it seemed like they were trying to eliminate people that are going to get in their way on the tailie side. They didn't necessarily want any of the tailies, but they want the people over here in the front of the plane. So, I mean, it's an interesting to see the dynamic, because the tailies, like Michael said, had a horrible time. Yeah. But it wasn't so much they didn't care. They didn't really care about the tailies.
can I just say as well on this opening, can we just talk about the absolute temerity of Lost? That for a second season in a row now, they have tricked us in the exact same way. Season 2's opening, they show us someone, they make us believe we're not on the island. There's a nice song in the background, and then boom, turns out we're on the island.
That's
so
true.
now we're ready. Now we're ready for it. But then somehow they do it again in this episode, where we're like, oh, we're off island. There's some nice music, and then boom, the plane breaks above head. It's like, it's crazy that they got away with it twice, because I didn't see that coming at all. It's such a good reveal.
I think because we've been led to believe. Now, granted, we found out in that last episode they're not who they seem, right? These are costumes and things. But I don't think any of us were set up to wait for them to have like houses, book clubs. I don't think that was anywhere in our design here. So.
No, it's crazy to think about, and I don't know, like I definitely am looking forward to hopefully getting the answer of like why they're here on this island, building their own society. I mean, clearly they must have been doing something for the Dharma Initiative or whatever, but we'll see, I guess.
And this village is still available to visit in Hawaii, and it's my dream to go out to Hawaii and do a Lost tour. Like,
I know.
Let's put it out there and manifest it. How about for season 6, when we wrap up, we do a Lost adventure in Hawaii together?
Let's
put it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
We're putting it out in the universe that one of us is going to win the lottery to take us to Hawaii for the Lost tour.
It's cheaper for you guys to get there. I'm going to fly across the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. But yeah, no, definitely a dream of mine. But also, while we're there, let's just do the Jurassic Park one too, because it's the same filming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, fantastic opening. This is like one where you like when that Lost title pops up as like, you know, the whole like front thing. You're sitting there, even though it's like a 30-second intro of like, what the hell? Like, they're in houses. Who are these people? Like, it's one of those that it's just in the first couple seconds of the show, you're like, I'm already mind blown. I have no idea when this is about to happen, which we're going to get into a lot of this because we have Jack waking up in a completely like dark room. We don't really see like what's happening here. He's trying to figure out, he's shouting for Kate, shouting for people. And then we see him, he sees a door open. He's trying all the doors. He's pressing the communicate button, sees a door open, walks towards it. Just kidding. It's glass. He bonks right into it. And he's just screaming. No one's coming. Nothing's happening. Then we get Kate. Kate's waking up to a shower. And we have Tom. Gotta love Tom. Gotta love Tom. Mr. Beardo that we expected to not be anything like who he is. And here we have him. And he's like,
do we think it's spoilery if we tell Jake Tom's surname? Just because I find it funny.
No.
His full name is Tom Friendly.
Which is perfect. Like, he's so sweet. Like, look at him. He's
so sweet. Without the beard, he's so sweet.
All right, then.
And it's a whole other story. This is our island. You know, but take the beard off. He's like, have a shower, Kate. You're so sweet.
Yeah. It is wild. I mean, how deep they were acting like, you know, abandoned hillbillies. And then all of a sudden, you know, Tom is this sweet old man allowing Kate to shower.
He's also like so refined too, like it's soft spoken. Like he's not light him up, you know. He's not this like crazy character that we're led to believe. So yeah, Kate wakes up and he's like, have a shower, wash the day off. He hears a towel, here's some shampoo. She's like, I'm not showering in front of you. He's like, you're not my type. See you later. Have your shower. I don't care. Then we get Sawyer waking up. They put my man in a cage. This is unacceptable behavior. This is heinous behavior, as Michael would say. But they put Sawyer in a cage. And he's like waking up. He sees another kid over there. He's like, hey, like, hello, you can talk to me? No, cool. What's this little contraption thing? There's food here. Let me press this button. So he presses the button. And when he goes to press it for a third time, the kid speaks. He goes, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And he's like, oh, you're talking to me now. True Sawyer fashion. He's like, screw you. I'm going to press the button, to which he gets zapped all hell. He gets thrown across the cage, totally like electrified. It was, you know, I wouldn't expect anything else of Sawyer at this point. So we also get Jack. He's starting to try and get out of this room. He's pulling on chains. He's, you know, trying to break free, to which we get a blonde that enters in and is now introduced as Juliet. She's telling it, stop that. Hey, Jack, can you hear me? Like, let's chat. He wants nothing to do with this situation. Where are my friends? What are we doing? She's like, let's just chat. Like, hang out. She's very calm. And he's not about this right now because he's literally locked in a room and you guys just kidnapped us. So this is probably the only time that I'm like, Jack, I would be the same way towards Juliet as you were being. But Juliet's trying. Very nice. She is a very nice presence. She was a nice presence.
We're going to disagree in this episode.
We are going to disagree. But that leads us to our next flashback where Jack arrives at court with Sarah. And this is obviously their divorce hearing. She's like, where's your lawyer? He's like, don't have one. I fired him. Like, got rid of him. You look pretty. She's like, I don't care. Stop talking to me. He's like, well, I just wanted to talk. Her phone rings. And she's like, oh, he just got here. Okay, yeah. We'll talk later. And it's infuriating. He's like, who is he? Who is he? She's like, Jack, we're not doing this. Like, you need to let this go. He's like, I don't care. I want to know. I want to know who it is. Who is he? Who is the man sleeping with my wife? Well, I think you lost all rights to this when you guys both had a really like shitty marriage. So,
and I think you missed the ex part of wife.
Right. So Jack we start to see, and what we're going to see throughout this episode, an obsession of Jack, and it's going to take a massive turn. And that last like little flashback is a rough one to get through, but. Jake, walk us through. Obviously, Michael and I are gonna have this. Are we the new Kevin and Michael of the Lock and Jack here? Like
when Kevin's not here, we have to. But
I guess this is what's happening. But like, Jake, walk us through. What are your thoughts on this opening scene? One, where they're all at, why they all ended up in different spots.
Yeah.
Also, like, walk us through your thoughts on this Juliet moment.
Yeah, so this show seems to also like cute blondes. So I mean, we've continuously gotten a new cute blonde every season now, which has been interesting, or two, but I also just find it interesting that you're putting these three characters in very different locations. Jack's apparently in a submarine or aquarium or whatever. Looks like a submarine, so I'll just say that. And then Kate obviously showers and puts on a dress and is invited to this dinner, but she has to be handcuffed because Ben knows that Kate can absolutely take him out because she knows how to, fight and kill. So, and then Sawyer is treated like an animal and thrown in a cage. So I don't know. It's just very, very interesting why they decided to treat all three of them in this way. And I assume we'll find out more later of why they made these decisions.
I'm gonna have some my thoughts on that, but I want to before Michael and I get into this, what's your thoughts on Juliet?
I think she's interesting. I mean, I think it's interesting how kind of the Ben and Juliet relationship we're gonna see, where it doesn't seem like he gives two craps about her, as we'll talk about later. But I think she has some smarts to her. I mean, obviously she's just as manipulative because she also, interrogates Jack and then like pretends that she doesn't know anything, but then she has every bit of information on Jack's entire life. And so, I feel like she's just as manipulative as Ben is, or maybe not as much as Ben, but she has that streak to her. So I find her interesting. And yeah, she also knows how to punch. So
girl holds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page as Jake. Like, I don't think Juliet's nice at all in this episode, and I remember very vividly, like, my first time watching, thinking like Juliet is going to be one of the major villains of this show. Like, she has such a calm, sweetly sinister, like, aura about it. Like, she creeps me out in this episode because she's so calm. She doesn't reveal anything. She's completely in control. And Jack is a captive. He is locked in a cage. Like, she's not some sweet person bringing him a sandwich. Like, they are captive. They have been tortured and attacked for months. And then she comes in like with her toothpicks and tries to play all sweet. I was like, no, I don't buy this at all. This woman is dangerous, like very dangerous. And yeah, I don't think she was sweet at all.
I mean, we're going to get more into it because we get into this whole like where she really starts to come in with the food and stuff. This is kind of our first introduction to Juliet. I do see like where, because I'm one of those people that like, what you're eerily calm, like, you know what I mean? Like there are people that are calm people and then there's eerily calm.
Yes.
And so that's kind of where you get like this introduction to Juliet. I think we're like, when we get to that scene here where she is bringing in the, you know, the toothpicks and like, what do you do for a living? Like conversation. I'll have more to say on that at that point. But like in this moment, it's like, I don't really know how to take you right now because you have this man locked up. You guys just kidnapped them. You're eerily calm, which does give me a pause to be like, I don't know yet. What are you doing here? But also she is not like there. Even Tom is like, have a shower, like all great. But then they have Sawyer locked in a cage. I'm like, why are they so nice to Jack and Kate? But then Sawyer's locked in a cage outside. So there is that like eerily calm. Can we trust you even though you're like the bad guy right now because you just kidnapped all them and have them locked up? Or like, what's the deal here? So it definitely left a lot of things open, I think, for me. And then I'll fight with you more about it when we get to that actual moment.
I remember thinking like, yeah, she is very smart because there's also, they sent her specifically to deal with Jack.
Correct.
Like the Tom's dealing with Kate, Sawyer's kind of just locked up. Like they know Jack's going to be stubborn. Why was she the one that was sent to deal with him? Like that's the person that's going to be able to get Jack to cooperate.
Right.
And I think that's very deliberate.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But I'm going to go more into depth in Juliet when we get to her like big scene with Jack here. But moving on, I mean, the flashbacks, here's the thing. These flashbacks are not so main on focus, if you will, until that final one. I think that's where it really pulls all of the flashbacks in. But this is like where we see Jack starting to get that obsession. That is what's going to come into a major play. And I can't wait to talk about that with you guys when we get to that ending scene. But like these flashbacks aren't really giving, they're just kind of like there, right? Like where a lot of these flashbacks in the past, they've given us stuff from like every flashback like that we're getting. And I feel like these were deliberately leading up to that big final flashback. But is there anything you guys want to talk about in that flashback with the court situation?
I mean, you know, it makes sense. It was heading this direction for a divorce. I mean, that's real life at like bleeding into this. And so it's realistic. So I'll give it that.
I will say, like, I think this is one of my favorite Jack episodes because I just think he's fascinating in this episode, but it's also maybe Jack at his absolute worst. Like, man, Jack, it shows you all of Jack's negative qualities in this episode, and this is bad. Like, he is a mess in this episode and really like unhinged. It's kind of scary in the flashbacks the way Jack acts, and you just see that obsession. Like the second her phone rings, just pure obsession, and from then on it just builds. And like you say, it builds up to that final one. I really like just the little things of these flashbacks, how they slowly build up to that moment of that build in tension and obsession that he has. And yeah, we'll get to it, but man,
for sure. Well, that leads us into our we left with Jack pulling on the things and Juliet entering in, and then we come right back to that flashback of Jack still pulling. He's being stubborn, and this is where we kind of start to get into that, like, well, you're stubborn, Jack. Like, she's like, I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, he even brings this up, and she's like, no, I think you're stubborn. Like, let's talk about this. But then it leads us over to Kate getting out of the shower. Her clothes are gone. I love that this is a moment of like, what did you think was going to happen here, Kate? Like, she, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like they were leading up to this, and so I don't know if she thought necessarily they were going to make her walk around naked, because I did not ever think that. But she's like, "Where are my clothes?" I also, this is like the moment of, what is that? I Know What You Did Last Summer, and like the moment where he like gets his Letterman jacket stolen. Do you guys remember that? Anyway, moving on. With that, she does have a dress. Tom says, "Okay, he's waiting for you. Let's go." And they lead her down to the beach where there is this beach breakfast. This is where I get the chills when she does an Evangeline Lilly does an amazing part of just even showing the fear that would instill in you. Of first of all, you were just captured. Second of all, like you woke up and you get a shower, which is random, and now they're making you put on this dress and meeting this guy that you guys just held captive. Now he's like the leader of all of this thing, but like when she arrives and he just like stands up like they're on a date, and she like that just sends the goose pimples up your body of like, absolutely no, exit stage right, abort mission, don't want any of it. And she does that perfect moment of like the pullback, and Tom pushes her forward like, no, you're gonna go do this. She sits down and Ben is like, look at all this beautiful breakfast I have for you, blah 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 blah, put the handcuffs on. She tries to like play it off. He's like, no, tighter please. And she's like, oh, fine, screw it, you little jerk. But also like when she's like, what if I don't? He's like, then you don't get any coffee. He is so demented. Like we already knew from when we had him captured, but like this is a whole new level, right? He's just like, I'm gonna make you do this, but you get coffee at the end of it. It's fine. Like it's just so really demented on his part.
I love how sassy he is because it's so funny. It's such a fun little quality in him because he is sassy and sarcastic.
Oh, 100%. But this is where the questions begin. What did you do with Sawyer and Jack? He instantly turns it on her of, why Sawyer? She's like, why Sawyer? What? Why'd you mention him first? Why not Jack and Sawyer? And she's like, I'm not doing this with you. Like, I'm not doing this with you. Why'd you bring me here? Why this dress? Like, what's happening here? What's going on? And he proceeds to say this stupid bullshit concoction, followed by one of the most terrifying lines ever of, I wanted you to feel comfort and I wanted you to feel like a lady, because guess what? The next 2 weeks are going to be very unpleasant. And you're like, what? Yeah. What does this mean? What? Like it's like so nice. It's going to, I wanted you to feel like a lady and look at this beautiful view. And then yes, it's unpleasant. Like it's stone cold face, like the whole thing. And you're like, wow, Ben. Like this is so messed up.
You sound like a last meal. Like enjoy this meal. It will be your last.
It's so unpleasant. But yeah, so then we get back to our next flashback with Jack, and this is where we're getting the obsession even more. He has now printed out her call, like her billing from her phone, and he's calling every number on there with some concoction of, met this girl on a train, she dropped her phone, I wanted to call. This is bad obsession level. And Christian walks in and is like, Jack, you've got to stop this. This is bad. And if Christian's telling you shit's bad, then shit really is bad. And Jack wants to hear nothing of it. He's like, we're not doing this. I'm calling it. I don't care. Rings the phone, and his dad's phone rings. Uh-oh. Bad news here. He's like, why is Sarah calling your phone? Obviously, this is going to lead him to think other things that are happening. And I mean, I don't know if we ever get the real answers to that. I know I know the answers, but Jake, I don't think you got the answers to this. But he does say his line, and this makes me laugh every time, especially now that Frozen has come out. He says, let it go. And I instantly want to break into let it go.
Yeah, I know.
But that is where this is obviously going to lead up even bigger later on down the road with this let it go moment. So Jake, I'm stopping it here. Walk me through, especially this Kate and Ben situation on the beach, because I don't know about you, but I definitely was like freaked out. This was too like creepy, like I'm going to fillet your skin off later, like psycho behavior. Walk me through your thoughts here.
Yeah, this whole thing was just, again, why are we, making her get the taste of civilization? And it's for a very messed up reason, because he wants her to feel that before I guess she's locked up for 2 weeks, which is, it's just crazy. Like he's a psychopath, and but it's incredible to watch this guy work and still be sassy, and then still be able to like prey on every little thing she says. Like, oh yeah, she says Sawyer first, and he already knows what buttons to push. And so I find Ben extremely fascinating. I have found him fascinating since season 2, but like this is, I think now that we know more about who he actually is, now we can kind of like he becomes more interesting. So
yeah, for sure. Like the mask is off now. This is who he is. And yeah, that's my favorite scene of the episode. It's so good. There's this weird like fantasy feeling about the whole thing as well. Like the music's very fantasy. Like, I want to say Fantasy Island. I've never seen it, but there's something about the image of this desert island and then this little hut with a breakfast, and he's wearing like smart clothes, and the music. It is very fantasy feeling, and then just Ben just pushing buttons, and like we see with Jack later on that they have information on these people. Ben knows exactly who Kate is. So like when she just slightly clicks on the handcuffs, it's like, no, you can get out of them. I'm going to need you to put them a bit tighter. And just immediately getting on she's asked for Sawyer and Jack. But the way that Ben asks it, repeats it as well, he puts extra emphasis on it where he says, where's Sawyer and Jack? It's like, he does it as such like an afterthought that like she doesn't care about Jack at all. It's such a good scene. And so sinister. Like, I like that he does kind of make me laugh, but when he says like the next 2 weeks are going to be very unpleasant, it is terrifying. Mm-hmm. That is so scary. And Evangeline Lilly plays it so well. Like, legit horrifying.
Oh, for sure. Well, and also like I think up until this point, Lost, like, yes, we've had like it's never been like fearful, right? Like, it's been kind of like cutesy, even though like it's been a plane crash and we've had like polar bears and like random crap, you know what I mean? And like the tailies had their like crazy time, but like this is now on a whole new level of Lost, right? Like this is now kind of turning into like horror movie, like where you're like, okay, I didn't know we were doing this and I'm a little terrified. Do I want to watch the next episode? What's going to happen? Like, I think that this like elevates Lost into like, not only are we getting this question, this mystery of it all, but now it's kind of like, is this bad or is this good? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's still like these good elements in here, but we've got this very terrifying side over here as well. So yeah, again, Michael Emerson, like the thing too with him, when he was Henry, he's like a master manipulator. We saw that with all of them, even like as quick as he came up with like stories and blah, blah, blah with Saeed and things like that. We know that this is like him, right? But then to now see him where he's not a captive, he can do whatever the hell he wants because he's the leader. It's even worse. And you didn't think it could get worse, but it does.
And he is in like total control.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me think more because I have to think, obviously, he knew what would happen. He obviously wanted to be held captive. And I do think, like with Rousseau, I mean, there is the incentive for her to get her daughter back so he can manipulate her, and knowing that she knows where to shoot him so that's not like a fatal hit, but it still looks like, okay, she shot him so you can take him captive. And to me, like, I absolutely think that everything he's done has been according to his plan. So
it's funny you bring that up, Jake, because like you brought this up back when he first got captive, and I never had thought about it this way. Like, I always thought that he meant to, like, he was on his way there, right? But I never took it into like, did he mean to get captured? I thought, like, for a long time I thought that this was a total accident. Like, we know about Rousseau's traps all over the island, but like, you bringing this up now, like, because I've had time to like really ponder this, is because we know that we had Claire in maternity leave, and like this whole kind of where we know that Alex is there. You know what I mean? She brought up the teenage girl. And now I'm wondering if this was a like her, like, I want my daughter. Like, I want my daughter going to them, you know, or somehow they met along the lines here. And she's like, I know I went to that maternity leave thing with Claire, and I know that you have my daughter. And he's like, well, we could do something. I need to get into the camp, and I need to come off not crazy. So what if I feel like you never made me think, like, until you started bringing that back in, like, when he first got captured. And I'm like, did this whole thing get like concocted with Rousseau in it? Like, I never would have thought that way with Rousseau. And it's like actually kind of brilliant because at first, like, she didn't know about her daughter, right? Until Claire was like, no, there was a teenage girl and she helped me escape. That's when she's like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? So it could definitely be very a plausible thing. Like, I think this is a cool thing to think about.
And given everything we know about him, it seems he seems like someone that's so in control of what's going on that it's hard to believe that he would just stumble into a net like Mr. Magoo. It's like it is like what else is going on there. One last thing on this little section on the Jack and the obsession of it all. like, I feel for Christian in this episode. We're going to get into it more, but I don't think, like, if I was getting divorced and I found out my ex-wife was calling my dad, like, I don't think that's an unusual thing. Like, even if it's an amicable thing, like, a divorce is a difficult thing, and we don't know the relationship, and, like, it's totally believable to me that she would maybe communicate with Christian, like, check up on Jack and ask how he's doing, and it be a purely, you know, in the best interest of Jack's feelings, and you know, they do probably have some kind of relationship. They've been married for how long? So I feel like Christian was just put in such a bad position in this episode, and very rarely I'll say this, but I don't think Christian did anything wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I do feel like I thought throughout the episode that at one point that Christian was sleeping with Sarah, only because we've seen so many relationships that have been really screwed up in this show, and I wouldn't have put it past them for that to have been the storyline. But at this point, it makes it more interesting to all of a sudden have Christian be in the right here instead of being in the wrong like he has been pretty much every other episode he's been in. So I do find it fascinating. Like, Jack is shown to be the one going about things in the very wrong way for someone that we are used to kind of doing the right thing. And so I find it pretty fascinating too.
Yeah.
I also want to bring this up too, that I do think, here's the thing, is we know that Christian has not been a great father figure, like, for years, right? We know that he basically always made Jack feel like he was not good enough, all these things. And then Jack doesn't know this at this part, and we're going to find out later, he gets sober. He has been sober he's turning a leaf. And then we're going to see at the end here that Jack, with all of his crazy, made him not do that anymore and make him take a horrible step. But then this is also, I think, in the timeline of Jack and Christian, that is what leads, like, because them not speaking, right? And then he starts drinking again, to which then we get the call where Jack had to come down because his hands were shaking, to him turning his dad in, to his dad going to Australia. Like, I think that this is like the lead up to all of that, which is kind of crazy when you think about this. That's the trajectory that this happened in versus, like, him just talking to his dad. Like, all these things, we bring this up all the time. Maybe you guys should have talked about things. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, we get Jack back into his little whatever cage room, whatever this is at this point. We are going to find out later what it is, but we get him back, and the intercom is starting to, like, do things, and he's like, "What? I can't hear you." And then we hear, "Let it go, Jack." And you're like, "What?"
I know. I was like, I heard that this time, and I'm like, oh my god.
We got the classic Jake.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Juliet then enters now with the food here in the water. She again says, like, please let me bring you some food. Like, who are you? This is where Michael and I are probably gonna we're gonna clash. But she starts to question Jack. What did you do? Like, what'd you do? Where were you flying from? All these things. And she starts to question Jack on just basically his life, right? And he basically wants nothing to do with it. He's like, "So what's your job? You just make sandwiches?" I also love that she came back and she's like, "Well, I didn't make it. I just put the toothpicks in." I think it's one of those, like, this is a tense moment, and this is where I think Juliet had a moment of being like, yes, is it manipulation a little bit? 100%, but it's also like, okay, let's, like, make a joke and, like, cut this tension a little bit, Jack. Like, let's calm down. Like, because she can see him, you know, building up. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell when somebody's starting to get to their boiling point. And I think that was just, like, a cute, like, let's cut this tension. I just put the toothpicks in. I just thought it was cute. Anyway,
Deliberately cut the tension. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure we'll get more into it, which is why I'm going to speed past it a little bit. But then we also get Sawyer. He's in his cage. He's doing his thing. He's trying to, like, figure out this concoction. And all of a sudden, Carl starts talking to him. We're going to know that it's Carl later, so I didn't spoil anything for anybody, but I'm calling him Carl. But Carl starts talking. He's like, you know, how's your people? How long would it take to get to your beach? Like, how long were you, like, how long of a walk was it? Are the people cool? Are they nice? Like, he's asking all these questions. Sawyer, again, being the typical Sawyer he is, and now you're talking to me? Like, he's, like, not even about it. And as he's, like, completely ignoring Carl, all of a sudden he turns around And Carl's not in his cage anymore. The door is wide open. We see Carl like show up again. You're like, we didn't expect Lost to like turning into these like jump scares where you're like, whoa, okay, Carl, geez, all right. But the alarms are starting to sound, prisoner escape, whatever. He gets Sawyer out. You run that way. You run that way. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm running this way. They take off in different directions. Sawyer's running off. And all of a sudden we get Juliet, and he's just as surprised. He has no idea who this person is, why they're there. And she instantly zaps him in this neck thing twice in a row. I'm so sorry, Sawyer. I love you. Like, you've got to be feeling all of this. But also it kind of, I don't know if Jake, you picked up on this, but obviously where Jack has to be close by because Juliet's right there. So like, that's to me, like, that was the first thing I realized when I watched this for the first time. I'm like, Juliet's right there. That means Jack has to be nearby. Like, he has to be because Juliet was there fast enough to get Sawyer out or, knock him out again. But they drag Sawyer back to his cage and they bring Carl, and Carl's not looking so good. He's not looking so hot. And they slam him against the bar. Say it, Carl. Say it. Here's the funny thing, too, is like Tom's still without the beard on. Is even as he's trying to like punish Carl, he's still like nice. He's like, say it, Carl. You're gonna say it. Like, it's not this like, again, this light him up like our island type of guy. He's still like somewhat nice. But Carl's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I did this to you. And they walk him away. This also is going to bring us back to Juliet reasoning with Jack. And again, like I said, I'm going to kind of briefly go through this because I'm sure Michael and I are going to get into it. But this is after Sawyer getting back to his cage there. Juliet comes in. She tries to reason with Jack. She finally does, like, please, this is like, all I'm asking for you to please put your back against the door. Let me bring you food. He's talking about how the intercom, like, you better tell those people. And she's like, there are side effects to this. It's dehydration. Like, you're, she doesn't say, like, you're a doctor. I know you're a doctor, so I know you know this. But, like, let me give you some food and water. Like, this isn't hard. And so finally Jack is like, okay, all right, I'm hearing things from the intercom. Cool, I'll go sit over there. But we're going to get something later. I'm not going to go into that yet because we have a lot to unpack here. And I'm not even going to go into the flashback because we get a little bit more going into that too. So just walk us through this little brief thing, Jake, for your thoughts here. Again, bringing up, let's dive into Juliet here because this is where I think that this is something to unpack. Like, the other stuff's kind of like fillers in here, but this Juliet character, we need to talk about her.
Yeah. Again, I think it's more manipulation of her. I mean, she continuously is like being like, you'd better sit back against the wall when I come in and give you your food. Obviously Jack is going to try something here that he doesn't realize he shouldn't try because it's not going to work. But it is interesting. Again, like how, like, I feel like she absolutely knows Jack is too stubborn to listen at first. So she just is like psychologically kind of manipulating him into trying something and then, feeling defeated because he realizes he's so dehydrated and mentally done that he can't do anything. And so like he realizes he's just, he's just done mentally. And so then she's able to like reveal all the information to him. And now he's completely susceptible and listens to everything she says now by the end of the episode. So.
Do you want me to go first and then you can rebuttal, or do you want to go and I rebuttal?
You go. You talk your nonsense.
All right. I don't think it's nonsense. So the reason why I was going to bring this up at this current part is this is why I do think this is manipulation. They brought these people here for a reason. Jack, it's her responsibility for whatever reason. We don't know yet. But I'm looking at this as, again, yes, I'm well aware Juliet is the bad guy. I'm 100% aware of that. But I look at her going like, yes, she already knows all these things. She has his file. But she's not just like strong-arming him right off the bat. Like, I know everything about you. Tell me what I need you to tell me. Do this, do that. She's not coming in guns a-blazing and being kind of a dick. She's giving Jack the opportunity to be open with her. And that's kind of where I like this part about Juliet is she's like, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a repo man. And like love it. I'm a people person, like all this stuff. It's like she knows, again, she said it right off the bat from the beginning when you're stubborn. You're going to be a stubborn person. I know that. This is her trying to break down those barriers with him and to kind of somewhat build a little bit of trust, because there's not going to be a lot of it because they just captured these people. So yeah. I view Juliet in this moment of, even though, yes, this is manipulation, and yes, like she's kind of trying to like, break him down. It's not in a breakdown in a mean way versus like Ben, for say, is sitting there with the breakfast, like, here's your lovely bacon and coffee. And guess what? Life's about to get really rude for you. This is her being like, I'm letting you have the moment. You tell me when you're ready, like who you are. Let's build this like working relationship to help one another out, even though I've got you captured. So I am not crazy. I do realize that Juliet is a bad guy. She's doing this for manipulation, but I think the way that she goes about it is a very nice, calming, wants to get Jack to trust her in the correct way and not in the other way of everybody else doing it. All right, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Open up to me and tell me all this information that I already know about you because I've got it all in a file.
Yeah.
Like, there is no getting to know Jack. She knows Jack. She's just trying to break him. And I will say, like, I talked about how much I love Angry Jack. Angry Jack is just the best Jack in the world. And him being like, I'm a repo man. He gets all like sarcastic and like shitty with her. It's so funny. I love that whole exchange. But yeah, no, I just don't think. I think she's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. And whether or not, we'll see in episodes to come, whether or not there's more to her than that, we'll find out. But like, I just don't trust anything she's saying to Jack at this point, in the same way I don't trust anything that Ben would be saying. I don't trust that breakfast was in any way what Ben claimed it was. It was purely scare tactics. And
100%.
They're trying to break Jack, they're trying to break Kate, and they're trying to break Sawyer. On Sawyer, I have something that I don't know. I've always thought, but I don't know what you guys think. When Carl leaves and he breaks out Sawyer and tells him to run that way, my feeling on that is that he was not actually trying to get Sawyer freed. I think he was trying to use Sawyer as a diversion. Like, you go that way because they're going to catch you. And while you go that way, I'm going to run this way and escape. I don't know what you guys think about that scene, but I was like, I don't think he had Sawyer's best interest in heart there.
I've always been torn on that because I do think that was the case. But like, and I especially think that because he was asked which direction did you come from? How long did it take? Like, he was trying to figure out so he could go to their beach and escape, but not with Sawyer because he was a distraction. But I also think he was trying to I've always been torn on it. I'm 50-50. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I do think it's a diversion, honestly. I mean, but I don't know much about this Carl character yet. I mean, I honestly thought when they took him away at that point, they'd just honestly kill him. But like, clearly there might be more to this kid than we think, or I think. But I guess we'll see.
That's the other big question. Like, he's captured as well. Like, who's this guy? Like, he's not part of our group. Is he part of their group? Is he someone else? Like, where did this Carl kid come from? So
yeah, no one knows.
Another question to add to your many questions, Jake.
Right. Well, I also like to point out too, like, wherever Sawyer did run, like, he didn't get very far. He can still hear like the thing, and he just kind of like stops and like, well, maybe I should like look around. Run! What are you doing? I love you. You are my man. But what the hell are you doing? You continue to run. The fact that he stops, like, not like, it's like he ran around a corner and was like, I think this is good. I'll just oh, hi. I don't know who you are. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you still running? Drives me nuts every time.
He is out of his cage for about 30 seconds.
I love my man, but that was not his best moment. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, this Carl kid, like, who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing here? Were you helping my man or not? Like, lots of things. But yeah, I mean, again, going back, like, this last thing I'll say about Juliet is I do think that you could easily come in and be like, we know everything about you and this is what we want from you. But I feel like doing that tactic isn't going to get you anywhere versus at least you have the opportunity to open it up, to let him open up to you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, even when they're like, interrogating like people and stuff like that, they're like, what'd you do yesterday? You know what I mean? Like, they're not doing that they know what you did yesterday. You like killed somebody or whatever it was. You know what I mean? So like, that's the way I look at Juliet in this moment, is like, she didn't come in there and like, we know that you're Jack Shepard, a spinal surgeon from St. and you're divorced and yada, yada, yada. Like, she didn't come in there, this is what you're going to do for us now. She wanted him to have that moment of, you did this yourself.
I totally agree. She's doing exactly what she needs to do to get him 100%. To trust her.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that that's not a good thing.
He could have had it worse. Anyway. All right. Anything else in this section? He could have been in a cage. Okay. Getting electrocuted. Okay. He's getting grilled cheese sandwiches brought to him. Freaking poor Sawyer, which we're going to get to in a minute. This poor man.
Yeah.
The man has been through some shit. Anyway, moving on. Go to this next flashback. This is a flashback where we've gotten a little obsession from Jack, major obsession. Now we're about to become unhinged. We see that Jack is tending to a patient. We can see that he's very distracted. His dad's out in the hallway. He gets a phone call. He's laughing. Ha, ha, ha. We even hear the nurse like, are you sure he's okay to administer? Like, you can tell that maybe Jack's about to do a malpractice here because he's so obsessed with what's happening with his dad in this phone. And like, even her like questioning, like, Dr. Shepard, hello, Dr. Shepard, are you sure? That should tell you everything, that this is really bad. But he follows his dad to a hotel. He's, Jake, I'm sure this is where you're like, oh, he's about to catch them doing the dirty up in the hotel room. But he follows them in. He walks into this room and sees his dad and starts to confront him. And he says, Jack, look around where you are. Stop, please stop. You've got to stop this. Like, this is not good. Pay attention. Then it's not settling down. Jack is in a tunnel vision of rage right now. And it gets interrupted by what appears to be the therapist, the group leader, all of the things. This is obviously what appears to be AA. They don't actually necessarily say this. This could be a different group or whatever, but it does appear to be that type of situation. And she says, you must be Jack. And he's like, you know who I am? And she's like, yeah, your father talks about you. And he's like, what'd you say? What'd you talk about? My marriage, Dad? And this is, again, sets him off again. And his dad's like, dude, stop. And Jack starts to walk away. Also, this is Christian. Probably, again, he was walking away, but Christian, being the Christian that we all love and hate, says, let it go, Jack, Jesus. And Jack loses it and attacks his dad. We're going to get into that final scene here shortly, but that was we're going to talk about Christian that moment, because I think he could have left the let it go, the final, Elsa another day, do it another day. But that leads us back to our island, where Juliet starts to come in with the food that Jack has sat on the sidewall for, and she instantly opens the door. He attacks Juliet. Plate breaks. She goes to grab her little stun thingy. He grabs it, throws it away, takes the broken plate and holds it to her throat. Drags her out into the hallway. She's like, Jack, please don't do this. All this whole thing's happening. And he brings her, he does try to get to a door, which I'm pretty confident, but they never say it's the door that Ben was in. He tries to kick it and it's locked. So then he goes back to the other door with the, and she's like, I can't open this. Trust me, we're all gonna, it's not gonna be good. We cannot do this. And we have Ben out of nowhere go, you have to listen to her, Jack. And he's like, oh, let me hold this plate to her throat again. And he's like, I'll kill her. We need to get out. And he's like, go ahead. Again, Ben, Michael's little thingy, wherever it's at, 0 fucks. Because he's like, go ahead. Because if you open that door, she's going to die anyway. And Jack, being the Jack that he is like, I don't trust you. Throws Juliet, starts to undo this door. Juliet takes off. She knows this is not good. She takes off and Ben beats her back to the room and locks her out. He not only doubles down on go ahead and slice her throat, but now I'm not even going to let you in the room.
Yeah.
Jack opens this door and water comes flooding in. She comes flooding in. And then Juliet's like, Jack in here. She does grab him as he starts to go down. So she does save him too. All right. I know it's for her purpose, but she does grab him and save him. They get back into the room that she has been in this entire time, because we know about this button that was talked about earlier on in the episode. And so they get in here, shut the door, and she tells him, push the button, push the button. He pushes the button and the water seems to start going out, to which she then punches Jack and knocks him out. Packs a little punch for that little blonde there. But with that, we get to Sawyer. He's still working on this food contraption. Bless his sweet little soul that this is all he has to do in this cage, is to try and figure this out. Jack's almost drowning and trying to kill some random person. Kate's having this grand old breakfast, and he's over here trying to figure out this contraption, to which he does, and he's so excited. His little dance here of the like, dude, like it's so cute. I love him. But he gets a fish biscuit. Are you kidding me? After all that, I get a fish biscuit. I'd be so mad. I'd be so angry. But we do see that after this happens, Kate now arrives, and she's taking over Carl's cage, because where's Carl? We do not know. But she is now there. I also pointed out this point where they all leave, and he's like, he in this moment is so the sweet Sawyer that we love. Like, seriously, he's like, you can tell that she's terrified. He can instantly tell that she's terrified. And he's over there like, well, I requested that cage, but whatever. And he's also like, well, you're at it. I could use a blow dry. Like, he is just the same old sarcastic smartass Sawyer, but so caring with Kate, to the point where he's like, are you hungry? Here's my only fish biscuit that took me forever to figure out this stupid thing I got electrocuted over. And she just had a freaking gourmet breakfast. Like, I'm so mad that he threw his only fish biscuit.
You can get another one.
It's just, again, to see the growth that Sawyer has had. Insanity. But we get Jack back in his room, waking up to Juliet reading. I do love that, Jake, you get yourself another Dharma station. This is the Hydra station. Talking about the Hydra station now. And so Jack says, so you guys are just the leftover Dharma folk. And she's like, well, that was a long time ago. Doesn't really answer the question. So you're like, wait, are they Dharma people? What is this? What is happening here? But this is where she brings up she's finally done with Jack's shit and being nice, and said, well, I've had a file on you all along. I know you're a spinal surgeon. I know you were married. I know you contested the divorce. All those things. And Jack is distraught over it. He's like, well, you have everything, like not just about me, but my family and friends too. And she's like, what do you want to find out? Which is where I'm going to stop it here, because we lead into this very crazy ending here. So Jake, walk us through Jack has officially lost his mind, attacking his dad in this flashback to this like underwater craziness of it all. Walk us through your thoughts on this.
Yeah, this was, Jack we've seen him go off the rails in the past 2 seasons, but not very regularly. And this episode, it's just about him going off and going insane. And like, I've never seen Jack this way, so it's really, really intriguing. I mean, and this is before he even got on the island, so like, that's a bit insane. I would say, you could say, oh, you've been on an island going crazy, but no, this is in his real life too. And so, you could say it's justified a little bit in the sense, like, I get why he's angry. However, I don't think it gives him the justification to go and attack his dad at this event. That's a no-no. And so that was a bit crazy. And then for, Julie Bowen, for Sarah to bail him out. I mean, we'll get to that ending shortly, but that was interesting. And and then obviously like the whole thing of like Sawyer's basically been treated again like an animal. He is so excited to just get a fish biscuit, but I just don't know what the purpose is of why he's being locked in a cage in this way. And then the whole underwater thing again. We mentioned that Ben is a psychopath, does not give zero fucks about Juliet, and locks her out of escaping. And I was wondering how they were going to get out of this situation. And there's a lot going on, so crazy.
I've got a lot on the AA meeting, so I think I'll save that to finish on. But the whole Ben Juliet scene is so fascinating because, again, like we've said, like Ben is very calculated and he does not care. He's shown very little empathy in general. But I do think there is a lot of method to what Ben does. And if Juliet leaves that room, Jack dies in there. They have Jack for a reason. he can't afford to let Jack die. So, like, I do feel that's a very deliberate choice that Juliet needs to stay in there and sort this out. Juliet knows what she's doing, but he is completely uncaring of what happens to her, but he needs to try and keep Jack around because, well, he's got him there for something, right? And yeah, Sawyer's little dance is fun. Another little comment in that scene, Jake, is when Tom says it only took the bears 2 hours. So
how many were there?
What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I guess it would have to be some sort of test for Sawyer. I guess from that line, I forgot about that line. But now that you say it, I remember it. Okay, yeah, I think it's some sort of test for Sawyer for what we don't know. Or I don't know.
Could it be bears of the polar variety?
Oh, that's right. I forget about the polar bears. So
I'm just leading you down the rabbit hole.
It's been too long since they've shown up, and also I thought that Walt had something to do with it, and like Walt's gone now, so I don't know. Like that's what I've forgotten about.
It's so funny, like too, because I was hoping you were gonna bring this up, Michael, because it's so funny. Like we haven't talked about polar bears in a good long time, first season, but like the first one, obviously, you know, we like Sawyer again shot a bear. How ironic is that he's now in the polar bear's cage, right? So that's the first part. But then the second part is we know that the second polar bear, and like if there's more, who knows? But we know that there was a second polar bear that then attacked Walt and Michael in that whole situation, and that one seemed to live. So that one's off just like running around the island somewhere that nobody like cares about. And then who knows if there were other ones? But the other question is, okay, there were polar bears in here. How'd they get out and why? Like why?
And why were they there?
Yeah, I was gonna say why.
While we're on the animal theme as well, it's jumping ahead a little bit, but Jack also says, "I'm in an aquarium, aren't I? What's this used for? Sharks." And Juliet says, "And dolphins too." And we've also seen a shark with a Dharma logo. So there is some kind of animal stuff going on here.
Yeah, for sure.
I see. Yeah. Now I'm remembering more things.
There's a lot. So on the AA, I can't say that because it's 2 A's together, AA meeting. Like, man, this is so heartbreaking. I don't love Christian. I don't think he's a great guy, but this is just tragic. Because, like, I totally do believe that he was reaching some kind of positivity in his life where he's trying to make a difference and he's attending these meetings and he's trying to change. And, you know, it's like this circular thing of Jack is angry at his dad because of the way his dad has treated him all of his life. So that's not Jack's fault. But at the same time, now that Christian is trying to change, Jack is ultimately responsible for sending Christian back down that path again. So it's like, man, it's so sad. Like, what is the parallel universe where Christian, you know, stays sober, and how does his life look from there?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the interpretation or if what they were saying was that Christian was trying to be better or if he was just lying at this AA meeting. But I mean, but you're probably right in that he was trying to be better because, you know, if you're actually being drunk, like, why are you going to an AA meeting? But, you know, yeah, that makes sense.
I have a whole theory on this, actually. So we know that Jack, like, he's totally obsessive about, like, who this other man is, right? We saw him spying out at the school, like, and that was probably just a coworker. Doesn't mean they were, like, doing the nasty, okay? Like, it was probably just a coworker and they were having fun. But he's like, is this the guy that my wife's, because she has already told him that, like, I slept with someone else. So now he's got this obsession, right? So my philosophy is, like, every time we've seen the phone ring, whether it's Christian or Sarah, I don't think it's actually Christian or Sarah calling them. So my theory on it is, like, at the courtroom, that probably is the boyfriend or the guy, like, that we see at the end calling and, like, how's court going, blah, 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 blah. But because later on, now Jack's going to figure out that his dad had been talking to Sarah, now he's going to just think everything's Sarah, right? Same thing in the hospital when Christian gets this call and he's laughing and he's like, ha, ha, ha. That's probably somebody like the group leader or his sponsor or something in AA. Like, see you at the meeting. Can't wait. You know, like, yeah, last week when it was fun. but he's thinking it's Sarah and they're going to meet up at this hotel and have sex and all these things. And what's horrendously sad about this is like, I mean, we even see it with Christian where he was like waiting for Jack to be like, wait, you are sober? Like, cause she's like, he's been sober for 50 days. And he kind of like looks at Jack like, yeah, I'm trying, dude. Like, I know I fucked up, but like I've tried. And Jack, he's like waiting for Jack to be like, oh, I had this all wrong. But he does. He's so like, this is where Jack, like you brought up earlier, this is a lot of negative about Jack because that is just so, I mean, again, Christian probably shouldn't have said the second Elsa line of let it go because Jack was walking away. But I think that he was just really wanting for his son to finally see that he was figuring out his life. And then we know that that's going to lead to something. It just makes it even more tragic.
Yeah. He could have been talking to Jack's mom. Like,
right.
Christian's, married. He could have just been talking to his wife.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's a huge thing of like, that's always been my theory is that he was never talking to Sarah. Like, yes, had they talked. I also think my other part of my theory is I do think that Sarah was probably talking to Christian, helping him. Like maybe she helped him find the AA group. Like maybe she was his sponsor or something, you know what I mean? Like that they had to talk for specific reasons. Like, you're helping me with this, I'm helping you with that, you know what I mean? Never meant anything else other than that. But I do think that every time that phone rang, it was not there. It makes us lead that they were the two talking every time, but I don't think they ever talked on the phone when we saw it. So that's my theory. Anyway, anything else on this section? I really was just trying to buy our time into this very devastating last flashback. So, I guess we'll jump into it. This last flashback is, again, when we think about the timeline and the events leading up to all this just gets really, really sad. We see Jack is in a jail cell. His bail has been posted. He walks out to see Sarah. Sarah said, yeah, your dad called me. Goodbye, Jack. Like, grow up. Like, stop being stupid right now. Like, just you're being that moment. You know what I mean? And with that, she walks out. She walks out and he follows her, to which he sees the guy outside. It's the moment he's all wanted and waited for. And he goes, wait, Sarah's at him. And she's like, what, Jack? Like, gosh, let this go. Like, again, she's even at this point, like, let this go. And with that, it's like, she's like, what does it matter? Like, what does it matter? And to the point where she says, when your dad called me, he was so drunk, I couldn't understand him. Like, that is the most devastating thing, knowing that he just threw 50 days of sobriety away because of how badly his situation with his son went. And it's just one of those things that is like so unbelievably sad that he's, you know what I mean? Like in that moment of Jack's not even sad. Like he doesn't even have any remorse that he now caused his dad to go down this path, which we know then gets even worse. And she walks off, and it's just the thing of the guy's trying to comfort her. She's like, she even throws her hand like, I don't want to talk. Don't hold me. Like, you know, all these things. And it's like, Jack, now you have to sit in what you just caused. The pain of so many people because of your obsession. Which then leads us back over onto the island, which even gets even more sad, is she goes, what do you want to know? And he says, is she happy? And she goes, yes, Jack, she's extremely happy. And he just breaks down. Like, he just breaks down. And this is the moment where the manipulation got led to, but this is the moment where he completely breaks down. He sits against the wall, and she's now going to bring him his food and water. As she walks out of this room, this is where we get our big reveal. This is where, after all this emotion, this is like the moment of like, oh my God. Ben is out there, which we still do not know is Ben, because here's the moment of him saying, thank you, Juliet. And she's like, you're welcome, Ben. And we're like, whoa, what, Ben? This is Ben. Like, Ben's the one in charge. Like, it all comes together in that last line. And then, of course, the lost title comes up, leading it to that final scene there. But yeah, lots of powerful things here in this last scene. Like, oh, so Jake, walk us through, because we know that Christian's not been a great dad. Not been a great dad. And for us to get like this sweet, like, should have been a sweet moment. He's changing his life, and now Jack ruined it by just being a complete psycho. Walk us through your feelings on this last powerful scene.
Yeah, this is so Sarah basically telling him, like, now this is one thing he can try to fix. Like, Yeah, it's just a sad moment, for sure. And, you know, he screwed up in multiple ways. I mean, he screwed up. I mean, it's hard to know if Sarah was actually seeing this guy already before this divorce happened. I'm going to assume that Jack was the one that screwed that up, though. And then this, he's screwed up with his dad, is the, you know, what's being implied or what's being said. So, yeah, it's a horrible situation. And then of course, the big Ben reveal, huge, and it's cool to, you know, get this confirmation again that Ben is the guy in charge that has been talked about since last season. So it's pretty cool, and I'm interested to see the plot unfold.
Yeah, it's Lost does end in so well. I've kind of said my piece on Christian, so I'll just focus on the Jack side of it. The fact that Jack, man, it breaks my heart. Like the fact that all he wanted to know in that moment was, is she happy? Like, he is obsessive and he has his flaws, but like every character on the show, that's what makes Jack such a fascinating character. And not some, like, so often in shows, like, the hero protagonist is quite two-dimensional and they're just the hero and that's their role. Like, Jack is so much more layered than that. It's what makes him such a great protagonist for the show, that he is flawed and he's not perfect. But in that moment, that his biggest concern that he wants clarified is that, is she okay? Is she happy? And then just breaks down. Like, man, yeah. Matthew Fox is so good. He's so good. Such a good scene. And then, yeah, we can finally say his name is Ben. And again, just the little smile. Good work, Juliet. Thanks, Ben. Oh, I don't trust either of them as far as I can throw them. I love them both. I do. I know I've been down on Juliet. I think she's a fantastic character, but I don't trust either of them.
You know, here's the thing about Jack too in this moment. While I do feel for him, because like this is him breaking down, like it's sad. It still shows that level of obsession. Like, is she happy? Like, she hasn't thought about you in a good long time. You know that, but you're still hung up on this. Like, I mean, I get that it is a sweet moment to wonder, like, after all the stuff I put her through. Like, right, yeah, he's starting to realize
he's hoping the answer is yes.
Right, like
he's not thinking like that of, I'm like, still in there.
Right, like, but it's still just goes to show that that's like, how's my mom? Like, I've been missing and her husband's like dead. Like, you'd think there'd be like, how's my mom? Is she okay? But no, it's like, is she happy? And so, I mean, I think it's still, which is a perfect way to end this episode of like, the obsession is still there. Like, even though it's like not as crazy of an obsession, it's still an obsession. So, because I mean, I would have personally asked if my mom was okay, because like she's had a rough like month or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it is sad though. But yes, the reveal of Ben being Ben is amazing, and I'm so glad we never have to call him Henry again. So favorite characters and rankings? Are we there?
Yeah, I think so. All right, favorite characters. Oh boy. Just because I find him fascinating, I'll go with Ben for a favorite character, just because he's so chilling and such a good villain in, you know, what has it been, like 15 episodes or something like that we've known him. So yeah. Crazy. And then least favorite, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Jack, I think, for this one, just because, I mean, he screwed up. So like I think there's one other episode where I said Jack was my least favorite and it made Kevin upset. So I'm sure this will make him upset too when he watches this, but I'll go with Jack. He screwed up. So
yeah, Kevin's not gonna like that one.
I mean, Kevin's missing out on prime opportunity to not see Locke on his screen, so I don't know what he's doing.
Oh yeah, no John Locke.
I know.
In fact, we should probably mention none of our other characters. This episode is entirely our captive others people. Like, we don't see any of what's going on at the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Exactly. All right, Michael.
So I was toying. I'm going to give shout out favorite to Jack, just because like, man, I love the amount that we see of his range of emotions and flaws and positives. It's like, this is maybe Jack at his worst, but it's kind of also him at his best. And him saying he's a repo man and just messing with Juliet is one of my favorite moments of Jack. I love it. But yeah, Ben. It's got to be Ben. Ben is he comes into this show and just elevates it. And we've talked about it in season 2, and like seeing him now at his full powers, he's so good. Like, chilling is perfect a word to describe him, I think. And this is going to be unpopular too. We're going to have 2 unpopular least favorite characters. My least favorite character of the episode is going to be Tom.
Ooh.
Maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I personally, I don't dislike Tom, but I do feel like we lose something with this new Tom. Like, I much prefer season 2 bearded, intimidating Zeke. And like this kind of doughy, friendly guy without the beard, like, I miss Zeke. He was threatening, he was intimidating, he was good. And now he's just kind of there.
Okay, that one was a little dagger to the heart, and I need to catch my breath a little bit because that one hurt a little bit. I love Tom. See, here's the thing is, like, I think Tom served his purpose as being the intimidating, threatening Zeke, if you will. I'm not making him, I'm just counteracting because that one hurt a little bit. But I think that this moment, he's like, they've got a whole another plethora of things to fear. I should be the one, like, nicety of the situation. So that one hurt a little, Michael. I don't know if I can recover from that one, but that's okay. We'll move on.
Make him your favorite. Counteract me.
I can't because there's too many awesome people in this episode. I am shouting out Juliet and Ben 100%, because they are amazing. I cannot wait to see more, especially now on this like whole nother side that we're gonna get. I am shouting out my man. I'm starting it off strong, Sawyer, because only for this reason. And listen, I know that everybody always sees it coming, but like, I haven't made him my favorite in quite some time. Like, I know I was joking about it, but I've not made him my favorite in quite. Go back and watch. I've shouted him out, but I've not made him my actual favorite. But I'm making him my favorite because, again, Kate had this nice breakfast and shower. Jack, like, granted, he's not in the best. He's not getting breakfast or anything, but he's literally inside, like, you know, whatever. He's been thrown into a cage. He got electrocuted. He's like dealing with this crazy kid that all of a sudden is like helping him escape, but like not escaping. And then like he's left to figure this out, feel like this power of getting a stupid fish biscuit. To the second that Kate walks in the door, he immediately goes into protection mode of like, let me crack a few jokes to like ease up like her fear, and then now I'm gonna help her. Like, here's my one and only fish biscuit that took me forever to get. Like, just Sawyer's growth again, and just the hilarity, like all of these. What you talking to me now, Chachi? Like all of these things that he's coming up with on the fly. They just, especially in a very serious situation, him to be able to like take the care of Kate after he's been left in a cage, I think is just adorable. So
yeah.
Favorite character.
He is very sweet in this episode. I do like him a lot.
Least favorite character is going to be Jack. So sorry, there's double Jacks for Kevin and for Michael. No, I just think that I've said this before. Jack is like, again, like bedside manner. We're talking about like he literally is about to like screw this poor patient that's in a bed. Like the nurse is trying to talk him out of it. Malpractice is about to happen. The obsession. Like, yes, he is flawed, but we see more oftentimes that there's times where people are able to be flawed and come out of it, where we don't necessarily see Jack learning from these flaws because we see it on the island, we see it in flashbacks, that he kind of goes back. So where we're seeing other people like Sawyer having these growths, like Jack's not really having any growth. He's kind of where he's always been. And so it's kind of frustrating for our people, the person that we want to root for, that's like helping everyone to not ever learn these lessons, right? So like, sorry, Jack, gotta be least favorite character.
Sorry, Kevin. I tried.
I didn't. All right, ranking. Obviously, we know where it's going for 3.
Yeah. So we don't need to put that there, but I will pull up the top 10 episodes, and then Michael, you can go through them. So we have our handy dandy list here. So
for season 3, we're so popular.
Yes. So Michael, you want to go over the top 10 overall episodes right now?
Yeah, so we have Exodus, Live Together, Die Alone, Lockdown, Walkabout, Orientation, Man of Science, Man of Faith, Two for the Road, The Long Con, The Pilot Part 1 and 2, and Do No Harm.
Yeah, this is going to be helpful for me to look at and visualize.
Yeah.
As
it took us
well.
3 seasons and we realized we should probably give Jake a visual thing to look at for the episode rankings.
Yeah, so it'll be helpful for me, helpful for you guys watching. So for A Tale of Two Cities, I mean, I'm looking at this list and I don't think I can put it in the top 10. I feel like the one I could make the argument for is Do No Harm, maybe, but I feel like that one's the Boone episode, right? That so I feel like that's still bigger than this, even though this has some great reveals and some interesting stuff that we've talked about. But I don't know that I can make it in my top 10. It's still a good episode, but maybe just like outside the top 10, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like looking at this top 10 now, it's going to take something huge to break into it. And I do think there's several to come, but I think this is a fantastic opener. It also, like we said briefly at the end, it focuses on very few of our characters. And there was so much left up in the air at the end of season 2, and we only got part of that in this episode. So I think it's a really good study of the characters that we got, but I wouldn't put it in the top 10.
Yeah. Kristen?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was right there with you, Jake. Like, if I was going to do it, it would be over Do No Harm. But the thing about this is, like, yes, we're getting this intro into these others that we've feared for 2 seasons, and we're finally get the reveal that Ben is Ben, not Henry. But like, it's not like we're introduced to Ben. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't just like a brand new like shock of it all, but you get like his name and whatnot. I agree with you that this probably shouldn't cross it yet. It's a good stepping stone, which I'm sure we'll get other episodes that we're gonna all be like, oh man, we really this top 10 is so solid. This is so like good.
Yeah. Agreed.
At least it's one for season 3.
Yeah. Well, so there we go. Season 3, episode 1 is done, and we will be moving on next week to episode 2 of season 3. So subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Let us know your thoughts on Lost. Spoiler free, of course, because I don't want to see anything that I am not meant to know yet. So aside from Ben's name, apparently, because
we spoiled forever.
Yes. But other than that, yeah, please don't spoil me on any other names. But yeah, I'll let you both get to the spoiler section for this week. And so, yeah, tune in next time for more Lost on the Tribe of Nerds.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tribe of Nerds. After Jake, the spoiler section of Lost. If you've not seen Lost in its entirety, and we're talking the entire series, leave now, because we spoil so much things, like all the way to the very end. So leave now. This is your warning. We give you extra time. Like, comment, subscribe on your way out. Okay, bye.
Leave now or forever hold your peace.
Right, for sure. Okay, Michael, this is our episode. We've been waiting. The reveal of Ben. So excited. All the others loved it. I'm so excited. And I also love Downtown. It's like my favorite moment.
I was so excited to do this one today. It's such a fun one. We can't say his name is Benjamin Linus.
Benjamin Linus.
We have to wait another episode before he introduces himself. But
I know. Which is, I mean, this is another reason why I love season 3. There's so much complexity into like learning about like all these others, like learning about my gosh, like I can't even, you brought this up that this is like the trajectory of like the final, like how this whole plays out, because we know, like not even just in this season, we know we're going to get Ethan's story of like when he was a baby, like when all that, like when he was born and like all of these things. So yeah, I'm really excited to kick in and kick the door down of season 3. So let's spoil some stuff.
Yeah, I think like outside of like a few dud episodes in season 3 where they were clearly trying to get the end of the show in place and work out when they're going to end it, so they were kind of scrabbling around for a bit. There's like a small run of episodes where it's like, oh, I don't know what's going on here anymore. And then from there it's just like rocket fuel all the way to the end.
Yeah.
We did get a new character in Carl, who we are going to learn is Alex's boyfriend, and he's in a cage because Ben does not want him to get her pregnant.
Yes, because pregnant women don't do well on this island, which
They do not.
we've like kind of ripped a little part of the first layer of this onion away about this pregnant women situation. But Juliet, who we also got introduced to this episode, is the main reason about this whole pregnancy thing. But for those of you who don't remember, Alex is Rousseau's daughter that Ben stole, and well, we don't know. We're going to find that out. That Ben is the one that stole and is now raising Alex as his own daughter. So that is Alex, who we're referring to as Rousseau's daughter, and Carl is her boyfriend. So, poor Carl, like just trying to have a teenage fling and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, he has a rough time.
Poor
The
Carl.
time he's on the show is not good for him.
No, and what we do know is when he's dragged away, like it seems like it's to his death. It's not. They're gonna go take him to another spot in a horrible, like, brainwashing room. Oh my gosh, just poor Carl. Poor Carl, indeed.
Where he's going to read God loves you as he loves Jacob
500 times in a very loud, crazy room. Oh yeah, poor Carl. And then poor Carl at the end too. Like this just poor Carl, just like, this whole entire thing. But also, yeah, I mean, we get Juliet, which we're gonna get more into. She is kind of the right-hand man, if you will, to Ben, if you in some regards. Tom is kind of the main one. Obviously, we were led to believe that he was the leader, and he's not. But Juliet is very much reversed in that, or because we know now that Jack is here for a very specific reason, and that is because Ben, good old Benny Ben, has a tumor on his spine that Juliet helped diagnose. So this is why the Juliet connection is here, and why she's got to break down Jack.
And I think it's so interesting with Juliet as well, because especially with Ben, we are also going to learn that Ben's leadership is not harmonious. People are not happy with Ben and how he is running things. Juliet does not like Ben. Tom, even like jumping way ahead, like he stops following Ben's orders. He questions Ben's orders. Richard openly just goes against Ben at several points. Like, Ben's leadership, while he seems in complete control at this point, is like slipping between his fingers. And the fact that he has cancer, like, that is a huge thing on this island of like,
right,
how did you get cancer? This island heals people.
Heals cancer, as we know
and
from
now
Rose.
the others are going to be like, you're our chosen guy?
Yeah.
Like, the island's trying to kill you.
Which is also like insanity, because we do know that Rose's cancer was cured.
Yep.
So the fact that he got cancer on this island is like, whoa. But also, we'll get that in a later episode, that he points out that, and we know that from specifically that first day of them, like when the plane breaks up, we know that there's so much that happened before that moment, and then so much that happened after that moment between Juliet and Ben. It's insanity. And
that moment is going to we're going to come back to that a lot. Like that, the plane breaking up, I think we go back to it like 4 or 5 times and get like added details each time of what's going on around that scene. It's like, so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's a lot. And then, I mean, we're just scratching the surface of these others here. Like, what's hilarious is all these people in the book club, so don't we ever see these people as others. But we obviously see Ethan and Goodwin. They're now not with us anymore, but like, we're going to get like these little flashbacks to where we're not even flashbacking. We're flashbacking to just like before the plane. So it's pretty exciting about that situation. One thing I do have to spoil on, and Michael even forgot this moment, when Jack asks, is she happy? And she says, yes, she's very happy. We know that when they do get off the island, and they do get off the island here, well, not this season, next season, but relatively soon, they get off this island, and she is the emergency contact that shows up at the hospital because he never changed it. And she shows up very, very pregnant. So she is very, very happy. Sarah is living her best life with that new guy.
Yeah, things worked out well for Sarah.
Yeah,
she's Jack.
She's like, dude, you should have changed your emergency contact. But also, how sad is that like, that's like, he didn't change it back to his mom, nothing. Like, he doesn't have anybody. That's actually very tragic for Jack.
We rarely see Jack's mom. Like, I don't know what their relationship. I think he sees her once when he gets off the island, and that's about it. It's like, okay, he clearly didn't really care that much.
No, it's so sad. But yeah, I mean, also again, like, I brought this up in the episode leading this is obviously the timeline of Christian slips, he goes back into drinking a lot. This is where then he messes up in that surgery where Jack turns him in, Then he goes to Australia, does the binge, and then dies in Australia. So very, very sad that this is kind of where this leads up to. Granted, we don't know how close these things were, right? But like, it is a sad thing to think that this was the way that this was going down. I guess this is the best I can put this. So
it's really tragic.
It's very tragic. I mean, we already know, like, even the Sawyer thing of like he wanted to pick up the phone and he couldn't do it. Like, even all that, we just know that this Christian is a very tragic centered thing. So yeah. Anything else that we want to spoil on what we have right now?
I don't think anything specific. Obviously, next episode we're going to get more of what else is going on in the fallout from season 2. We'll get more of Saeed and Sun and Jin on the boat, so that'll be exciting. We get more Ben.
I know,
just more Ben and Juliet. It's so exciting.
I know. I didn't want to like love on Juliet too much, but I wanted to at least, because she is like, because we also know that she is going to like completely go against Ben, and she's not happy with Ben in this current moment. But I wanted to point, because she could be completely horrendous. Like yes, it was manipulation, but I didn't want to give her too much credit, but I had to give her some credit. Like that's like,
I mean, I love Juliet. She's one of my favorites, but like right here where we're at in the story now, like I did not trust her at all.
Right, and that's why I kind of wanted to point out, I was like I had to give her, because she's like really good at it, but I was like, I can't give her too much, and I can't fight Michael too much on this, because I don't want Jake to be like,
no, she's a good guy.
Right, like, why is Kristen fighting for her? So yeah, I was like, let me just put a little bit in there, and then I'm going to take it away. But yeah, we love Juliet. Major Juliet fan here. Love Juliet. Can't wait till I can actually make her my favorite character, and it will be a lot. So,
it worked.
Even though she gets with my man.
That's good.
Bitch.
They're perfect.
They are perfect. Anyway, well, with that, we are going to end spoiler section. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Questions for us, we'll answer them on the podcast, but obviously if it's a spoiler 5,000 things, so that he has to click see more, because he can't help himself. So
I was about to be like, yeah, put them down there, and I was like, oh no, don't.
Well, yeah, put this one, and then like 5,000 dots, so that he has to click on see more, and then, or just like message us privately, like Mob to Warriors on Instagram, Michael's got Instagram, all the things. Just do that if you don't want to take the chance, because Jake definitely cannot help himself.
Yes.
With that, season 3, we're so excited. So see you guys next time. Bye.